Right. So, and I think I know where Mo was going with this. We were talking about drug dealers X, Y, and Z, and I think I know where Mo's going to go with it. However, I'm going to let him go there where he's talking about how these drugs are getting into the country, blah blah, or getting onto our streets. So I'm going to let Mo go with that one, and then obviously we'll have our discussion like how we usually have.
Of course.
So we were talking about previously. We were talking about a guy who was matching his mother to blah blah, and I was talking about accountability and responsibility about the drug dealer who's not making the person do it, but he's selling drugs to that person.
So that's therefore going to go.
Yeah, and therefore he's going to do. And I also said about someone getting a knife to rob somebody, a knife point robbery. So therefore you've got victims, trauma again. There's somebody that might stab somebody because of that, which then brings a victim that might need stitches that could possibly die. All to buy drugs from, not you now, but you of them. Yeah. And then off that you were saying, however, but how are these drugs getting in? So yeah, go on.
So my point being here is like, okay, I've took accountability. Sweet, he's buying it from me, he's taking it from his mum. Who's going to take accountability for me being on the streets to earn my money? Obviously, I'm going to take accountability as the person doing it, but how have I got to this position? Why isn't there been something different for me to go into? Why have I had to end up selling drugs to earn the money that I need to move on in life? Like, okay, cool. It's come from another country, it's got to the UK, whatever, well, let's not even get into that. But who the fuck has sent them, sorry for swearing, who has sent them drugs to the UK? Yeah? It's all government based, bro. Everything is from the government, you get me? Like, whether it be the guns, the drugs, you know, they are pumping this stuff into our society. It's inevitable, yeah? So that's where I'm saying, where does the accountability come from then? Like, why are they doing this to us? Why can't they pump some kind of money into the system, into the streets where we get a better start to life, instead of just leaving us to run wicked on the streets and then locking us up and sending us to jail?
I mean, there's no doubt that the prison population is overfilled with black or ethnic people. Yeah, I agreed. But it's very much similar to what you see where it is because if you go back in history, you're always able to look at things and relate to it. And then what you do is, because you can relate to it, you then put it to the cause that you're in now, or you put it to the cause that generates the most sense in your mind. So again, we know that in America it was done purposely. The crack cocaine epidemic was done on purpose
yes,
by the CIA with the Black Panthers, X, Y, and Z. So we know that was done on purpose. I personally don't believe, this is me personally, I'm not saying, unless there's proof that comes, and if I do see it or read it, we'll express it. I'm not gonna sit here and agree with you and say that the government allow the drugs coming. I would not say that. I can't even say about what the government do on other ends. I think there's governments from other countries that may allow it to be shipped out.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is I don't believe that our government is allowing it to come in. Because remember, it's a big word. What you're saying. I agree. When you're saying allowing,
I get where you're going with it. And I agree. There's not going to be some government official that sat at the fucking UK border force saying let that in, don't let that in. I get that. But big but now, yeah. All these top people that are, you know, chief executives that you don't even see, the ones that are just sat in the offices giving the orders that have got the money, they're sat sniffing, bro. They're all on it.
What's that got to do with importation?
Because they're allowing it. They're feeding their own habits.
But that's got nothing to do with importation.
Yeah, but they're sat at the top.
And
they're the ones sniffing.
Okay, but so is the person at the bottom.
Yeah, but same way, the ones, do you wanna?
No.
Okay, so the ones that are at the top, like these big chief execs and that.
Of what? Chief execs of what?
Police chief executives and shit like that, bro.
You mean like commanders and police?
Yes.
So you're saying, let's get this right.
And also...
No, because we need to clarify what you're saying. Because I need to clarify what you're saying so I can respond. Or should I say, so I can rebuttal?
Yeah.
You're saying that these commanders that are high up are allowing this because they're sniffing it.
I personally believe that they've got some input.
Okay. let's just clarify something. So
they might not be sniffing it; they might be profiting from it. They could know that a certain gang in London have just, or in Leeds or Manchester, Birmingham, have just acquired so much of whatever drugs, and they want to interact now. We want part of that. We want part of that because we know how much money you're making. We know how much these pockets are taking down. There's greed at the top, bro.
Listen, I understand. I get what you. Listen, I
you know
see
what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. But what I will say is,
you can see what
back in time, I think there was corrupt police officers that was giving information and was getting paid through major. And is it still happening now? There's a possibility there is. However, you can't naively sit there and go, these commanders and stuff like that are being like no. And not only that, you still got to understand this is, even if that is, let's just go with your argument. Yeah. That's what it is. It runs bigger than that. Because the border force are completely different to the metropolitan police. So it's completely different elements. I mean, customs and excise is not the police.
No, I get you.
Do you mean?
No,
so
yeah, of course,
when you're saying that, you got to be very careful with statements that you make and make sure you have an argument for your statement.
But I believe that there's people in big positions within the border force.
You can turn on
within the police force that are pulling strings, that know what the crack is, that know what things are coming into this country. You get me?
You know what? One thing I'm gonna say this, and probably there's not a lot of people know by it, but there will be a certain person. He doesn't watch yet, but he will do. And I know of a police officer that I've met professionally, just so we're clear.
Yeah.
Who I've met professionally through a period of time, who has done certain things for things to go back onto the streets. Okay. I know that.
Okay.
That's factual. However, that's to build a bigger picture. So I'm not going to say what was put back on the street.
Yeah, that's irrelevant.
But certain things are put back on the street, and it's tracked. And it's tracked. Because what they want to do is they're going to say, right, so where's that contact there? Okay, that's the contact here, and there's that contact there, and then he's actually written it all up. So it's into a presentation now where it shows you how it works, how the things was coming in, how they was hidden. But then what they was doing is they was doing little things where they was putting sensors. But what it was a light sensor. So as soon as you open the package, the light sensor would go off, and then they would know where it's been opened now. So these are some of the things that people have. So I understand that part of it. So I understand that there might be drugs that have come through and it's been delivered, and they've intercepted it, and they go, right, okay, carry that on.
Yeah, because I did actually watch one the other day. Actually,
and I do agree with that. However, I don't agree with what you're saying of going, there's these big people that are all up there allowing it through. No, I mean, years ago it was
doable years ago.
No, I think
what I'm getting from what you're saying now is it's not doable, even though it's possible. It's just not as easily done now.
Yeah. I think times have changed so much now. I mean, years ago,
I can agree.
There was a possibility. 20 years ago, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, yes. However, what I'm saying is I don't think now that
you just think now it's a straight criminal behaviour. Then
I would say so. I would say so.
I can understand your point, but me personally, I think there's still people higher up in this chain that are involved in this game, bro. I seriously do.
I mean, until somebody comes along and goes X, Y, and Z, then
you're never gonna know.
I just think now there's so many different levels to go through to get to that person. It would be virtually impossible before somebody turns around and goes, "Oh, whoa, this is wrong."
Yeah.
No, and not only that, you have to remember this: the more people you put in the chain because of money, more people are willing to speak. Now, do you I mean, look what happens where.
All right, well, I've got a good question for you.
Go on.
It's still on topic. What do you think about people that, I'll say criminals, that sit at the top and have never been touched?
They've been smart, haven't they?
Okay.
They've been smart.
Very good answer.
Well, they have, haven't they? They've been smart. You know, they've probably had a trusted group of people around them where technically they don't exist.
Do you reckon any of them have police officers involved in there?
I mean, it was renowned before that they did. I don't know so much if they do now, and it depends on your definition of police officers involved.
I think, personally, for you to be the top man and never get bagged, you've got to have some kind of police intel.
Okay, but you got to remember there's a flip side to this as well. So there's a flip side in there, because how do you know that if you're the big wig, that you're not actually giving information to the police, which keeps the police off your back?
There we go. And that's my point.
No.
But look.
You're trying to entrap me there. You're trying to entrap me there now.
No, because what I just said. No, because what I just said now.
Yeah.
That's it there in a nutshell, bro. Like, the police allowing my man to do his thing as long as he comes and tells us wagwan.
Not necessarily though.
But that's what it is, isn't it? That's what it is.
It could also be a smart cookie.
Yeah, I guess.
Do you know what I mean? It's like looking at the level of violence. It's like looking at the level of violence of importation. Yeah, you look at the level of violence. The higher it is, the less violence there is. So, as an example, the violence is at low level.
It is
on the street level. That's where the violence is, where people are getting stabbed and hurt and shot and killed.
Yes.
Wrong. But when you start moving up, less people are getting hurt. Less people are getting hurt. When you move up another ladder, less people are getting hurt, because it doesn't make sense in the person that has the transport, the person that has the means, the person that has the money, and the person has the streets and put it all together. That level of violence doesn't exist because they all work together. And what these young people need to understand is the connect that they've got, and the connection that that person's got, and the connection that person's got, always leads back to a few people that are bringing it. It's a select few. So the beef that you've got with that gang there, and the food that they've got, they're probably getting the food from the same place. Maybe their connect is not there, is different. But as you move up, it's like a pyramid. It's going to move up till it gets to a central point. So when you're beefing, just remember that the person that's supplying you with the tools and the ammunition and the guns and the drugs, they're all coming from the same place. So again, if you're going back in time and you're talking about what they did in America, then yeah, they was putting things on the streets because they wanted to get rid of people and let them kill each other. It's the same thing here. Not that I'm saying it's the police or the government. I'm just saying that everything that you have is coming from the same source 9 times out of 10.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean? So these young people need to realise that, look, when you look at it and the gun that came out or the knife that came from there, dead people are selling the same ones to your enemies or to your friends or to somebody at the other end of the country. So it's never a situation where it's just, oh yeah, listen, he's with me, he don't deal with nobody else. Well, I can assure you he does. Yeah, my man don't want anybody to know who he is. That's why it's just me that goes check him. Please believe me, when he's done that with you on a Monday, he's doing it with somebody else on a Wednesday. Do you know what I mean?
I've seen it.
It's just the way that you need. It's just the way that it's portrayed to people, because the way it's portrayed to people is less people will then speak amongst each other, and that's how that person stays there for as long as possible. Because all it takes is for him to make one mistake, and that's the whole thing tumbled down.